astrology. And at this moment, I feel called. I feel called to speak about some things. Um, I'm being pulled at this time. It feels like when I say that, for me, it's a gravitational pull. I just feel like there's a lot of people in the sunken place at this time. And I'll explain to you guys what I mean by the sunken place. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I was watching the movie called Get Out yesterday. And I never really watched the movie all the way. Like I watched it in the past, but I was not paying attention. I was kind of watching it. I felt like I dozed off, went to sleep, probably woke back up, had one of those times trying to watch that movie. And it was always kind of hard for me to watch it, just because I did not find interest in it. But I'm watching it yesterday and I noticed so many new things when I saw it. And you know, the first thing I thought was, people are actually like this right now. And it's a hurtful feeling. It's quite painful to know that people who you would never expect to be that phony, that fake, that lost, and that brainwashed, they really are. You see, you may think that you know someone. Maybe you run into an old friend from like elementary school, or maybe you see people now, meet new people, and you may think that because they look like you or because they come from the same place as you, that they may be like you, that they may have some type of understanding of what's going on right now. But that is not true. The world has undergone a massive brainwashing, and it is as if there was some type of chemical spill that poured out into the world, into on earth, where a lot of people had gotten access to a toxic wave of chemicals, brain chemicals. Like I feel like a lot of people had been simultaneously brainwashed and had been lied to all at once. And I remember experiencing this where like I just watched a lot of things happen back in 2020. And that year is so significant for everybody because COVID-19, right? You had all of these changes that occurred at that time. And I remember sitting there and just feeling all of these emotions. It felt like I can sense people in so many different corners of the earth and how they were afraid, anxious, lost, confused, not understanding what was happening to them, what had overcome the world. And it felt like the world, even if it was in a centralized location, even if this affected, you know, two different countries, but it still felt like the whole world. And as this thing spread, I remember a growing anxiety that was not of my own. I remember being able to feel my people. And when I say that, I speak this way. Every time I get on this channel, I speak as Goddess Osset. And I say that because, and I have to let you know that so that you'll understand who you're listening to. I tell people all the time to just go and Google it for yourself so that you can see. I have to be able to express myself in this way, because a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people do know. But my goal is not to make people know anymore. I think everyone knows. But my goal now is to show you that there is an infectious disease that's going around in this entire world, and I'll never forget the visions that I saw when I saw all of this happening. And it wasn't the pandemic. It was bigger than that. It was a real life spiritual warfare. Angels and demons. It was so many evil entities that had awakened at that time. And I'll never, ever, ever forget feeling that moment, because I had the wisdom of what was happening. And how do you know that I'm telling you the truth? Trace news stories back to 2020 until now. See all of these horrific things that have happened in places and to people that have never ever happened before. And watch the news before that year, about 5 years back. And you tell me when you see the difference. See, people come to me all the time. Half of them come to me with mind games, because half of them praise false idols. And these false idols have somehow been able to brainwash a lot of their followers, a lot of people, to make them feel like being a part of something can make you win in a spiritual battle between angels and demons. But you have someone right here, and then you also have other people who are part of God's kingdom. I have workers on YouTube. I have workers on the streets. I have workers in my community. I have workers on the job. I have workers down the street. I have workers everywhere. Everybody that works for God is a part of the family. The only family that I really abide to are those who I know have unconditional love for people who speak the word of God, who live the word of God, who breathe the word of God, and who do not allow any person, false idol, anybody to sway them away from acting in righteousness toward thy brother and thy sister, meaning to everyone. Those are the only people that I respect. Those are the only people that I trust. So if you have come and you've entered my auric field, see, if I have chosen to work at a particular place, it's because I felt that you wanted me to be there before I came. I knew what you were a part of before I came. So I just answered what you manifested. So when I'm there, I am there to be of service, but not in the way that you may think. Because you'll never see my service being done with my hands. You'll never see me speaking these things out. This is something that will happen in a way where only if you're pure at heart, you'll understand it, you'll see it, and you'll know my higher mission. You see, human beings right now are doing something that is really leading them into the greatest sins, the number one thing that they are getting together to do is mock God. I have seen this every single day since the spiritual warfare began on a heightened level, the way that it is now. Now, the world has had spiritual warfare since before the pandemic, but this is a totally different thing that's going on. This is when you take groups of people who pledge to certain entities and certain powers that be, who have come together to align themselves in the vicinity of ancient deities while trying to keep secrets from the public about it to cover up their wrong idea. See, these people understand that the idea they had to retract them getting God involved in their devilment, they thought that it would work if they try to flip it so that the public wouldn't see what they were doing. You can't be a fool in today's society, because remember, it is a warfare that you are not as powerful to defeat unless you're pure at heart. I always teach people something that I feel like every adult should know. God only judges the heart, whether it is heavy or it is light. That includes every single individual here on earth. And it determines how you treat every other individual on earth, whether your heart is heavy or light. See, you guys have something very confused. The only confusion here is human beings with no power, human beings with no worth, human beings with no value to society. But see, there's a whole lot of people with value, and there's a whole lot of people with self-worth. There's a whole lot of people who love God, and there's a whole lot of believers. But let me tell you something. There is no, what you guys hate to know is that there is no such thing as loving God without loving me. Let me say this 3 more times so that you can feel it crawl up your skin and you can hate it even more. There is no such thing as loving God without loving me. There is no such thing as loving God without loving me. There is no such thing as loving God without loving me. The thought of that makes you so evil on the inside that your hate is loud, your envy is proud. But where does that get you? When you're envious and when you're hateful, where do you end up? I know you've seen it before. People who feel that way, they don't end up in a good place. It kills you. And the reason why this kills humans so much is because they're trying to understand that if something looks like them by the vessel that it carries, and if something does things that are similar to what they do, they're fighting with themselves, trying to find the difference between an ascended one and a living one. But it really doesn't matter in the kingdom of God how much you have gained on earth. It really doesn't matter what decisions you make to try to be a great person What matters is really how you feel about people. You have to understand and connect the dots. Your deeds that you do for attention on social media, your deeds that you do for people with money, your deeds that you do for your loved ones with your bare hands. Do you know that none of that even goes to heaven with you? The heart is connected to emotions and feelings. The heart is not connected to your hands. The heart is not connected to money. And the heart is not connected to your job roles, your degrees, your credentials, or anything you say you are. Your heart is only connected to something abstract. And I'm realizing that that abstract art that God created is not easily understood by a lot of human beings. So why are visionaries, storytellers, and geniuses the most incredible people ever created? Because these are the people who have minds that are completely open to receiving divine information from God. Spiritual people, gifted people, and really, really powerful people have the closest relationship with God. Because all of these people, they feel emotion extremely well. They are able to purify groups of people with beautiful energy and emotions, so much so that it can do a spiritual surgery on another person by simply invoking the desired emotion of redemption, salvation, freedom. Freedom that the United States of America is seeking has nothing to do with politics, no matter what politicians say. The real people don't want the freedom that the politicians say. People actually want a good world, a great world. That's what people want. To be treated right, for things to be handled in a just way. Nobody cares about entertainment as much as entertainers. Real people care about good and evil and who's going to lead them and what energy do they carry. And then everyone decided to vote for what they felt was good. God gives free will. And if that's what the people want, then that has to be delivered. But this is beyond people. This is something spiritual. People want something higher. And it's a shame that the only real cause that black women and black men truly have right now are to become followers by sight and not by faith. You see, if you ever compare me again to a person who has sold their soul, make sure that you understand that that person may have what they have by sight. And make sure that you believe in me by faith. This is faith over here. The world is becoming stripped of ignorance, evil, demons, because it's time. So what you all are witnessing as you are watching all of this play out, you're actually witnessing a rapture. Evil is getting aligned where they belong, and good is getting aligned where that belongs. It's happening right now in front of you. But see, you guys have to be more connected to God in order to truly see what is really happening. Like a lot of people, there's a lot of people working for heaven once again. There's so many people, and I'm so happy about that. So many people are doing that. And it's like the numbers went up. I wish I had a scroll, an old time papyrus scroll, so that I can write on that all of your names. In my mind right now, it's like I can see thousands of names. Like it's so cool to see, because I remember 5 years ago, I only could fill one page. You see, I'm not your ordinary spiritual person. I can see souls. So what you guys have thought you can do is work together with certain people because they've reached a certain level in their careers. And you think that because you side with those types of people, that you can somehow not stand in your own energy and confront a real goddess in a fake energy and think that you can get away with it. And I may play along and I may allow you to do that for one day or maybe two, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months. But eventually, everything around you will go to ash, like Silent Hill. That's a metaphor for what it feels like to go against the divine, just because simply you don't want to believe. But I have far more wisdom than the world. So I understand that the real reason why you're doing it is because you have demons in you. It's not really you. But in order for me to get to your heart space, sometimes I have to insert myself in the vicinity for the assignment in order to test and test and test and test and test to see who is going to make it. Who's going to realize the lesson? Who's going to be the next characters in another Bible? Who's going to play certain roles? And every day, more and more and more people don't make the cut. Even if I smile at you, even if I'm talking to you, even if I have that conversation with you, I still know who you are. I know who you really are. I know what you really want. I know what you're really doing. I know what you're really thinking. I know what you're really hiding. I know how corrupt you may be, how evil you may be. when everything is going to end for you. You see, you guys can play with numbers and try to understand the universe if you want. But you can't trick a creator who created numbers. You guys can play on teams if you want. But you can't trick a creator who created human beings. You see, the problem with the groups, the problem with the people who go against this is that before you guys got involved, they didn't tell you everything. And that's just really the truth. The ones that know did not inform you of how many things you had to look forward to by going against the grain. And all the while you sit back and you pretend like you don't see the army of angels on earth who love me, who go hard for God, who I love back. Once you have a fire in your heart for God, that's family. So the kind of groups that you wanted me to be a part of, I'll never be. Because I already belong to other groups with other people that have always been right by my side. I'm already chosen. I want to wrap this up with a Bible verse. Let me just see what we have today for this. Wow. Hold on. Listen, I just turned. Wow. I just turned to page 1255 in my Bible. This is Matthew, the book of Matthew. This is chapter 17, verse 20. This is what it says. He replied, and it's already highlighted. It says, he replied, because you have so little faith. Truly, I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Oh my God. Listen. This is the truth. So help me God. Everything that I have been talking about. Do you guys understand what I mean by when I tell you how I really operate in the world? I'm not lying to you. This whole video, I've spent 27 minutes of going straight off of just however I felt right now because I'm being called to speak this. I open up to a random page and it speaks about having faith. That is exactly what I said. I said there is a difference between sight and faith. Do you believe by sight or do you believe by faith? What are you going to choose? Because right now is the time of choosing. We're in a spiritual warfare that is bigger than any warfare you have ever seen in your life. This is not the one with the metal artillery. This is the one with the soul as the artillery. This is not the one with the whole army dressed in camouflage. This is the one with the whole army that has wings on their backs. This is not the one for human beings at all. This is the one with spiritual entities involved. Now, these spiritual entities can be from way back. Good and bad are here. You guys are not really paying attention to something, and I want you to pay attention to this. I want to help you. You see, back around 2015, maybe 2012 even, a lot of people started getting more involved in what? Spirituality, right? You got sage coming out of nowhere. You got crystals coming out of nowhere. You got all these young girls being psychics. You have all this going on, right? Now, these things are not bad. These things are actually in the Bible. Prophets are in the Bible. People that get visions are in the Bible. Crystals are in the Bible. Everything. Now, let me tell you about this, though. It's called spirituality. Now, what this means is certain unclean spirits have touched holy things, which have opened a door to things that are not holy, because that person's spirit may not be good, may not be pure, and they may be calling themselves a spiritualist. Now, you have good ones and you have bad ones, but all I'm saying is once this thing opened up and everything became so big and so many people got involved, now guess who's alive? Old and new spirits. This is bigger than anything that the United States Army can ever do. You have earthquakes taking people out in places you've never seen it happen before. You have so much stuff going on in the world that you have never seen before. Because without the knowledge of something and without the ability, the true ability, you can't just go jumping into different things and waking different things up and touching different things and getting involved in different things that you really don't know about, because you're going to have so many people that don't belong in that world trying to be in it, and then it's just going to pretty much elevate the negative energy inside of them, really. See, sometimes the wrong souls can get involved and twisted. So now we have terminology such as witch, we have witchcraft, we have dark magic, we have black, we have all of that because of some bad people who misinterpret and twist everything. Sometimes I feel like a broken record because I give people a lot more credit. I just wish you wouldn't be followers. Like every day, every single day, I always think about the people being free from following evil. Like I just hate it. It killed, like it really, 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 it really, really hurts me so much, and it makes me feel extremely frustrated by how many people have traded, how many people side with Satan. It's like sometimes I could walk by, like come like in a conversation with someone, or I could meet someone, or someone can come to me, or someone can ask me a question, or and when I know that Satan is in like present, when I know that he's behind this person's actions, their words, when I know that that person is dealing with demons, when I can feel all of this, I'm expected to act normal in society due to the brainwashing. But what I really want to do, I want to exercise that person on the spot. But I know that the only way for me to do that in the way that I do, that person will no longer have a life. And that has nothing to do with evil. Me being that has everything to do with God. See, demons hate the word of God. And if you all really truly sat down and read about who is Goddess Auset, one thing that you will know about me is that I speak life and death. This is a real thing. So don't get involved with groups, organizations, companies, networks, Just because your friends are going against God, choose different for yourself, because they want to infest your mind and make you feel like this is not real. Meanwhile, there's a whole bigger organization that knows every single word I say is real. They're watching, documenting, they are keeping track of every single thing because they understand, and they understood it before other people knew. They already knew where I come from, who I am, what this is about. But the way to keep control is to work through others so that these other people can get with other people and connect and collect souls to constantly make them go against it. But if you are watching, all you're going to see is a divine being having a human experience, pulling people closer to God, no matter how it looks. There's two sides. I'm going to let you guys go, but there's two sides of me. I have a side where when I'm out in public, whether it's a work environment, whether I'm at a store, you're going to get a disguise. You're going to get who I have to be for you. I have to be on your level. I have to operate normally so that you can get through your day. Because I know that there's this thing called Satan, and I know how he operates. I know what he thinks like. I know how he moves. I know what he's going to do to get into you, possess your spirit. I know what angle he's going to come from. I know him. So I have to act normal around a lot of people. Because, see, the thing is, me acting normal, blending in, being a regular human being, that's something that he actually hates. It's not the other way around. So a lot of people think that the enemy would hate me being like this, giving the word, speaking the word, you know what I mean? Like teaching through this lesson, speaking in my truth. It's not this that he hates. It's when I act like I'm not me. That's what he hates. And the reason why is because it's not going to allow his workers to come against God and win. You see, it's interesting when you think about it. It's interesting when you think about it. Just think about it. The minute that everyone illegally watched on camera a moment that I had with God. See, you know what he did? He possessed them who were watching and told them things, gave them the plot, the scenario, and they put it out there with their access to the media. They put it out there exactly the way he wanted it to be. So when you have him doing that, he has built an impression so that people won't believe who you really are. So that's why you act normal. You be regular. You be a human around humans. Because if there's 10 humans around me, a lot of them are going to be weak enough to be weakened by him. That's what he hates. He hates that. Because, see, just like I said, that one moment when you give him an opportunity to see you in your divinity, it's not that he goes against it because he hates it. He goes against it so that other people, he can put other people under an illusion that they didn't see what they just saw. He is a master manipulator, always in secret competition, always, and has had the ability to persuade a lot of people to feel the same. But nobody's realizing all these truths are right in front of them. Satan loves to possess souls. You guys all know where his dominion is, and you act like you don't. So, basically, the world is like human beings in my presence. They're like a bunch of scratching dogs. And I only say that because it's like, that's the sound that I hear, like screeching, like a, just like with my clairaudience, I'm like getting that sound right now. But they're like, people who go against God are like that because it's like, that's how their demons are, like trying to jump out of them, but they know that they can't. They need that vessel to feed off of. So they can't like jump out of their bodies to like, attack. So when you act normal around these people who you know are possessed, all they can do is like scratch at you, and they can't really get you because you're not giving them the thing that is going to fuel them in their presence. So why do you think divine people, monks, Buddhas, saints, priests, preachers, like, the good ones, why do you think people who really have a strong faith in God, even like those older people, like grandmothers, grandfathers who really have been through life's lessons and learned a lot, I'm talking about the real, true lovers of God, why do you think people like that like to be in solitude? And there's this word that is always being created by people who are pure-hearted, a sanctuary. You can create a sanctuary wherever you want, but every real spiritual person has a sanctuary. And the reason for the stillness, the quietness, is not just for meditating, and is not just to connect to spiritual things. The power in stillness and quiet in your spiritual comfort zone, whether it's outside near a tree or at the beach. The reason for that is because the enemy cannot penetrate that space. He cannot penetrate that space. And you can create it anywhere. As long as you have a pure heart, you can always create a sanctuary. Just you and God. So you're going to hear a lot of noise from a lot of enemies, a lot of evil people, a lot of demonic souls, a lot of possessed people, jealous people, envious people. Jealousy and envy is the same as satanic people. It's just that they don't want to feel like that. But that feeling, remember, to determine if you're going to heaven or hell is based on a feeling, not a thing that you do, not who you are, and not why. It's a feeling. Your heart feels. And that's what you're being judged on. Moral of the story, you guys, let Satan keep trying. He's going to keep trying. As long as you act normal. He hates it because he can't. It's like when you act like that, you don't give them the opportunity to ever be right. They're always wrong. Because you're not giving them, you're not feeding them with the energy that they look for in you in order to somehow make you overexert yourself to exercise the demons out of them. So that's why the enemy hates that. It's like he asks for a challenge but doesn't really want it. But when you're in your sanctuary, whether it's just in your sanctuary, could even be your mind. Some people, that's why they meditate, just to quiet their mind and think or not think. That's a sanctuary for some people, their mind. And when you have that peace of mind, in order for you to keep going, keep moving forward in your life, no matter what these people are doing around you, you'll be fine. You'll start to feel like the enemy lessens his strike against you when you find that sanctuary. Remember, it's like the opposite. Some people feel like, the closer you get to God, the more the enemy comes toward you. That is true. But only when you're acting normal. And let me just explain that. When I say acting normal, I mean when you're still around certain people, when you're around people who are not like you, when you surround yourself with people, maybe some of you have to be around people that you really don't want to be around. Some of you would rather, do things on your own, really. When you're anointed and when you have a high position in the kingdom of heaven, you really don't favor being around people because they don't understand. So when you're that kind of person, when you're around these people acting normal, it means that you kind of have to blend in or fit in a little bit with them, right? You have to, it's a whole disguise. It's just a disguise. Because you're in this human looking vessel, but on the inside of you, you are something totally different. But because you know that the enemy is lurking, it's like you have to maneuver this whole life a certain way. You're not going to be able to have a sanctuary everywhere you go, is what I'm trying to say. People are going to try to penetrate your mind, try to control your thoughts. They're going to try to do certain things, manipulate certain things, because that is Satan working through these people. You see, the enemy tricks them by the only way he can get certain people to work for him is by making them think that they're just playing a game, by making them think that it's a healthy competition. That's the only way he can trick them See, he's not going to just come out and show himself to these people like, hey, I'm the devil. I want y'all to do this to the chosen one. He's not going to do it like that. It's going to be something that these people are going to get excited about. It's going to be something that makes them feel better. Do something to make me feel good, right? It's going to be something to make them feel good. Satan is going to work through masses, like I'm talking about so many people, by putting something in front of them, giving them some type of proposition to join into in order for them to seek some type of false recognition and rewards for, to make them feel better. But he's not going to tell them that he's the one in control, because he knows if a lot of these people knew it was him behind all of this, they would never do it. So he even goes in disguise when he is dealing with what? Normal people. See what I'm saying? See, I have to go in disguise and be normal in a different way. When he goes in disguise to be normal, he has to look good in order for people to trust him so that they won't know it's him. My disguise is only there so that you guys can still live your lives without completely freaking out about who I am. Even though some of you already have freaked out. I think the hardest thing in this lifetime for me is not even the enemy. The hardest thing for me is just seeing people lose the position they did have to do the right thing according to what God said. All you got to do to fix this situation, if you want to change your life at this time, all you've got to do is stop thinking about it as ISIS is bigger than me in the kingdom of heaven, or this is something that I'm not. Stop filling your mind with these things. Take ego out. When you take ego out, then you'll only live from understanding. Understand that you too can be in this same place if you find your inner sanctuary. When you clear your mind of toxic thoughts, negative thoughts, when you push that enemy away from you, you're going to have a breakthrough. And that breakthrough is going to make you powerful. It's going to make you amazing. It's going to make you healed. All the things you guys watch me do, you can do it too. You can do it too. I encourage it for everybody. But don't come to me when you think you're ready. You don't have to. I'm going to know. And don't feel bad if I tell you it's not fully there. And don't start judging, because you're only going to ruin your life. Just take it as, you know what? I think I just need to really live by the values and virtues that God said. Should I love this person according to God? Your answer is yes. Should I be kind to this person according to God? Your answer is yes. Should I treat this person with respect according to God? Your answer is yes. Should I forgive this person according to God? Your answer is yes. Should I care about this person according to God? Your answer is yes. What is wrong with living by the virtues of God, and despite what groups you've signed up with, what celebrities that fuels your ego, despite what money you're making, despite who you think you are. What is wrong with just living a pure life? Because you have so little faith. Truly, I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. If you guys want to be that powerful, then you need to start having a little bit more faith in what you hear from me. Because the thing is, you guys put great faith into everybody that I have watched let you down. You guys are so busy in these groups that you don't even realize that the people you guys have looked up to have all fallen. How do you excel beyond your leader? How is it that what you subscribe to, what you follow, what you believe in, how is it that this is constantly showing to be a real disaster? Because that means that something is not right. You're not meant to go against God. You're meant to follow. You're meant to believe. You're meant to, if you guys would just get in your Bibles, really try to understand the words that's there, and really live like this, then you'll remove all the envy, all the hatred, all of that out. Like, that'll be gone. Imagine living a life like I do. No envy in your heart, no hatred toward anybody, no jealousy at all toward anybody. Imagine that. That's a beautiful life. You guys need to look for the abstract gratification and not the physical gratification. Physical gratification is not going to get you anywhere. Abstract gratification is what you seek out when you're trying to get somewhere. Increase your faith and shame the devil. Shame the devil. Do something different with your life. Shame him by showing him, listen, I'm not going to go against a person who isn't even doing anything wrong. I'm not going to go against a person just because of certain people. Those people are exposed. Those people are exposed for being imitators of the very person that they're getting me to join with them to go against. How do you love that? How do you take imitators, go against the creator, and then get people convinced that they're the creator? And then when the creator creates, the people are in awe at the fact that the imitators can't do anything that the creator has done. I don't understand the logic in this. So the end of this is just believe in God if you don't do anything else. But you can't love God if you don't love me. God bless.